Dan, hey buddy, how are you today?
Hey, hey Julio, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is the audio test. Cassie's gonna let us know. It's a beautiful day. What's the
Check,
date?
check, check, check.
What's
You're
okay?
oh, we got
Let's go live.
nice.
Okay, here we are. It's gonna take a second. Okay, here we are. Hello,
Hello,
hello, West Michigan.
internet.
Hello, internet. Hello, Grand
Oh, we
Rapids.
got low order in the chat already.
Oh right. Hey, Justin, what's
What's
up?
up,
What's
Justin?
going on? Chat is live. Hey, Dan, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. I woke up hungover, so
I
I'm
got.
doing not super good, but I'm doing way better now.
I rewatched My Neighbor Totoro last night, and I got like just a little too high.
Ooh, which
Yeah,
version did you watch?
like
I mean,
subbed
like,
version.
the with the subtitles.
Yeah, I like to hear like the inflection of like the Japanese.
I like that too. I bought for Cassie a copy of that movie that had it's the dub version, but it's the old dub that she grew up with, and there's a newer
Okay.
dub too with those sisters, with the Fanning
Yeah.
sisters, and that
Yeah,
one
that's cool.
she was like, don't get that one. So
Dang.
I know, but this is an older dub. I've only made it like halfway through that movie.
I love that movie. It's like a big warm hug for
Oh
you.
man.
Yeah.
I need to finish it. The beginning of it is really good. What I have seen.
Yeah. Um, we're doing this again.
Yeah, it's Saturday,
It's
March
Saturday,
27.
2020.
Mm-hmm. 2021.
2021. Yes.
2020 is over. It's gone.
Yeah, 2020
We're
is
done.
over. I'm still have like PTSD from
Yeah,
2020.
I don't blame you. Chat is getting live, and we have some viewers. So let's just kick it off and talk about episode 5. Episode 5
Yes,
was a unique episode because we actually did our first one of these live streams the same day that we taped episode 5.
that's right.
I
That
don't, I
was
don't
an
know.
exhausting day.
Man,
That was a lot of
that
streaming.
might have been kind of a bad idea. And let's
Yeah.
listen to the episode. There may be some things that I was like, I don't know.
We bit off a little more than we could chew, I think.
And I had been drinking because of the like adrenaline and excitement of the live stream.
Yeah.
And when I was editing, I noticed I was like, "Ooh, you can really tell that I'm a little drunk on this episode." And so
That was
I
sweet
do.
though, because
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, a little history between for the live stream is like we just kind of had this idea to just like clarify what the show is about because a lot of people were um, kind of speculating, and we just wanted to kind of clear the air a little bit. And then it turned into a new thing because
Hmm.
our first one of the first artists we reviewed was Wicker Basket's Oofda, and Wicker Basket hopped on.
Yeah, hopped on the live stream, and we were just gonna just kind of talk about music criticism in general and kind
Yeah.
of the history of it and our approach, and then it kind of morphed into something else. And so what started as an attempt to clear the air is kind of now this more interactive kind of show, and we have a good show lined up. We have some guests waiting backstage in the internet.
Internet backstage.
Uh-huh. And to talk about episode 5. And so let's talk about the first album we reviewed. It's Forbidden Fruit by Kissin.
That's right. And
And
it's a 5-song EP.
I listened to
And it was
this morning.
nice.
Yeah. I really liked it again. I
I
think
liked
that
it.
yeah, I worried that maybe I didn't come across as much in favor of this album, but then I listened. I was like, you know what? I did, despite some things that might come across as negative, I really did like it. And
Yeah,
listening to this today, I enjoyed it as well. It was a good listen.
for sure.
But I did say I was a little hungover. It's not maybe not the best hangover music, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if any music
What? Yeah.
is
What
good.
music? Yeah.
Chat. That's
What
a good chat question.
chat? Yeah. Viewers and listeners, put in the chat what is good hangover
Yeah,
music. What is your go-to hangover music?
man, I
And
can't.
I'll either
Sometimes
agree or disagree.
sometimes hangover music, like there is something, but I don't know. I think mostly like silence is the music you want. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel like science because your head is already. I feel like sometimes I get like more bouts of like tinnitus, like when I'm hungover.
Ooh, that sounds terrible. Your voice is kind of doing it for me right now.
Yeah.
Hey, we got double digits, 10 viewers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Hey, do you want me to? Is my mic level okay for you?
It seems fine to me.
Okay.
I don't really notice anything. Chat, let us know how it sounds. Um, what did we get wrong, man?
What did we get wrong?
Let's talk about that real quick.
Okay. I feel like I wish we would have talked about more. Um, I don't know. I feel like we kind of maybe it was just me, but we got hung up on like maybe like the whole genre, and maybe we got away
Yeah.
from like the actual songs a little much.
I think so too. I think, and that's when I was saying that like genres, and we even talk about like derivative works or whatever. We get
Mm-hmm.
into that, but that's really the first time we get to expand on that topic. We kind of went into it a little bit on the Hollywood Makeout episode,
Yeah.
and then this one too. So looking in a lineage, it's not as like caught up in it. It just happened to be that this is how we talked about it, was through this album.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
listening to it this morning, it's definitely much more varied than I gave it credit for initially.
Yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
and that's a testament to the record. And we've said this before. Your relationship with the record can change over time,
Yeah.
and I think that might be happening with this.
Mm-hmm. That's
Um,
the fun part about doing these recaps. It's like
uh-huh.
it's been a few weeks since we've listened to it.
Yeah, and I'm like, we're just coming at these records at a place of our own opinion at that given moment. So
Mm-hmm.
like even like I wonder like how much of my own like the fact that I maybe was a little drunk while taping this, like how much of
Right.
that cloud how particularly or like like sensitively even
Yeah,
to
totally.
analyze it. But one thing that was interesting too that we got wrong, this record's very sensual, and
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that like I don't think at all.
We totally missed the mark on that one.
And which is funny because I was drunk, and usually when I've been drinking, I feel like more sensual. But maybe it's just
Yeah.
because the idiom of what we're doing was so new that we were like in an adrenaline mode that wasn't focused on that, or I don't know. But that's one thing I want. This album is super sensual.
Yeah.
Like it's sexy, but also like it's literally sensual, like and it's
Yeah,
lush
totally.
and like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. There's like a lot of yeah, sensual is a really great word. It's like there's like softness, but then there's also like a playfulness, and then also like some like aggression too.
Yeah, it's good. Listeners,
Mm-hmm.
I got the link right up here. Feel free to pop that on while you watch us, if you can do that, because we're not going to play any music on this podcast. Feel free to like that'd be you could totally do it if you haven't heard it,
Okay.
or you can come back. These stay up. So however you want to appreciate this, please do. We give you the tools.
Yeah,
Anything
the
else
whole
you want to
point.
say? We actually have I feel like the main creative force behind this band backstage with us right now.
Yeah, we do.
So
I don't think I have anything else to say, so I think we're ready to bring.
let's bring them on. So why don't you do a little intro while I get the broadcaster ready
Sure.
here?
So coming up here from backstage from the internets, we have Vanessa from Kissin Kate, and she'll be popping up here.
Yeah, she's on video. So say hi whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Vanessa, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Everything's
we can hear
working?
you.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you. Really good. Thanks so much for
Cool.
coming on.
Yeah.
So tell us about like what is Kissin Kate?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Here, give me
Um,
1 second while you think about that. That's a big
Yeah.
one off the bat.
That is a big
Yeah.
question.
I always come in with the hard hitters right away.
I lost.
Yeah,
I lost
I
us.
think it's
Uh-oh.
especially hard to answer right now just since the pandemic, because
Hmm.
Kiss and Kate has mostly been
There we go.
me writing songs on my own, and like
Yeah.
we haven't really like been getting together or anything.
Mhm.
So but I would say it started like a couple years ago when I was playing in the band Frankie and Murr, which
Mhm.
was like more of a collaborative, like we were all co-writing stuff, and I was just wanting more of like a singular outlet to be like kind of more in creative control of like songs that I was putting together. So I kind of started writing and playing songs under the name Kiss and Kate, and I think every single show has been a different lineup of people
Okay.
playing. I think there's at this point there's like a core, like Ben Baker Jackson is usually always playing drums for me, or with me, and then Jen Mead is on guitar, but like bass and synth has kind of been something that is revolving and just kind of experimenting with like different people, different like playing techniques, and so I would say at the core of it, I'm writing probably like 70% of the material, and then
Mhm.
kind of like filling in with other ideas. And that's how it's like functioned so far.
I love that approach, by the way. I want to just interject. I love finding new people to play with. That's a lot. When I started, I believe in Julio, and I played a lot as it was like the Julio Gomez secret band, and it was kind of just like all stars from the scene. I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting because you put a different person on an instrument, and even if you're having them play the same part, it's
Mhm.
everyone like plays differently. I
Yeah.
can give someone
And,
the same 5 notes, and no one's going to play it the exact same.
Totally.
and it's a testament to your
Um,
music to have a bunch of buddies that like know it and are like, oh, I know how to play this. even though it's a little
Yeah.
different, they still get what you're doing, and that's really really cool. Do I have your
Yeah.
name right? Vanessa.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I kind
I'm
of
just watching on the Zoom. I don't know if I should be on the other one. Oh yeah, look, there I am.
Yeah,
Great.
you want to watch on the
watch
Zoom
on the
because
Zoom. You watch the other one, but you're gonna be
There's
on a
probably
delay.
a lag,
You'll be
yeah.
yeah,
on a
there's a little
delay, and
delay.
yeah, it gets weird.
So when you have other people hop on, are you saying like, do you have recordings, or are you just like doing it live, saying like, let's just figure this out right now, or are you saying like, do your homework and then we'll come practice?
Yeah, I think it's been different since pandemic. Like even all the songs on this
Mm-hmm.
EP were, I think the last song that I recorded for this was recorded in like April.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all like just recorded like at the house I was living at. And so all of those songs kind of came from like pre-pandemic world where we would just be working them out live or like
Oh, okay.
usually just like finishing a song to like play it at a show or something.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past year, we've been kind of like exploring like different songwriting, like long distance songwriting techniques. Like Ben and I just started using this website. Oh, what is it called? Band Lab. I don't know. It's kind of like it's like a like Logic or GarageBand, but it's all like based on the internet. So like we can
Oh,
be,
cool.
I'll drop a demo in
Oh,
there and then
yeah,
he can open it on his computer and
yeah.
like add a drum beat and then I can open it and like so just I think the pandemic has kind of forced us to like be more innovative with how we're writing together because we haven't really like all been
Mm-hmm.
together
Have you
That's
to
been?
insane.
Do you
play.
feel like overall you've been creative during the pandemic?
I
Because
would say so. I
that's
think the
awesome.
first like 6 months I just laid in my bed and stared at the ceiling.
I
We
go through
all did.
phases. I go through phases of that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
but
This,
especially this winter, I wrote so much material this winter that I am kind of in the process now of like sifting through and um I just did my first artist residency like last month and just kind of like went down the rabbit hole and like tried to demo out a bunch of stuff like kind of intensely where I just like shut myself away and just kind of like went in the hole to try and like churn out a bunch of material like really fast and that
Mm-hmm.
was like really fun and totally different than I've been writing before. So yeah, I think it's given me space to just like try new stuff and like adapt with the times and like find ways to like keep making things. So
That's great.
yeah.
yeah, the show's kind of about that year, you know. So, and I think we kind of started as like we're gonna do a podcast about local music. Like, oh, let's focus on this year because people like
Mm-hmm.
bands didn't stop making music or putting out records, and that's really cool.
And
Hmm.
like the main like promotional like material, or the main like way we promote is like through live shows in Grand
Mm-hmm.
Rapids at least,
Hmm.
and that was like absent throughout the whole year, and so a lot of stuff got looked over or just completely missed.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think from like a writing standpoint, I mean, obviously I'm like dying for the day when I can play a show and like be
Yeah.
excited to be in a room of sweaty bodies again. Like I dream about this all the time, but I think it's also given like some really nice space. Like I said, usually us finishing songs would be like, "Oh, we have a show coming up, so we got to get this song like playable by
Mm-hmm.
X date, whatever." But I think just like taking that away has like allowed for just like a different kind of like writing focus that like you just don't really get when you're just trying to finish a song for a show or whatever.
Absolutely.
So,
So you said last song was recorded maybe like sometime in April. So
mhm.
most of this was like pre-pandemic. So what made you decide to release it in end of October of 2020?
Yeah. Well, initially my plans in end of February of last year. I put out one of the songs as a single at the end of February last year. And the plan at that time was to like release the rest of the songs like late spring. And then
Mm-hmm.
that just kind of everything got derailed. Everyone's life was like just totally uprooted. So that kind of, I just like lost, that wasn't a priority at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I was just kind of like sitting on the material for a long time. Like it was finished for probably like, or I would say like 95% finished for like 6 months, you know? And at that time, there were also like all the protests for like Black Lives Matter happening. And I was just like, didn't want to be like making noise about anything
Mm-hmm.
other than like this very crucial thing that was like taking over everybody's dialogue. And so I just kind of like sat on the material for like a while, and then I love Halloween, so I was just like, all right, I think now
I love Halloween too.
is the time. And I was like, I'm not going to be at a Halloween party this year, so this is my like solo Halloween party for myself, is to put this music out.
Very spooky.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's not a whole lot of like conversation about even local music, but how has your record been received, like overall?
I think overall I've gotten like positive feedback on it.
Good.
I guess it's hard to say because
Right.
I'm sure like the majority of what people say about it doesn't make it to my ears.
No.
And
I
I
mean,
guess
like-
I don't usually like look. I don't like. I think I have like a couple of really close friends that I'm like, hey, can I send you this mix? And like whose like opinions I trust a lot. But overall, I think like it's been received well, and like I don't know. I think just like also seeing, you know, a band in the city that's made up of not all dudes is exciting for people. And
Oh yeah.
that's usually
people love it, and that's gonna happen more and more and more in GR with like girls rock and stuff. It's gonna be.
I hope so.
I think it's gonna be more common. That it's gonna be more non dudes than dudes, you know, in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
we don't have that conversation though. I mean, because we were saying like the way we promote these albums was through shows, and even like hanging out at the bar or hanging out after the bar or whatever, riding in the car with friends. That's how we had these conversations about this music too that we're releasing too, and we kind of don't have that right now too. So I don't know. That's just a question. I haven't asked that of anybody yet. Like, how do you think, how has it been received, or how do you think it's being received? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I also try and like remove myself from that a little bit.
It's probably a good idea.
Just because like I guess I feel like I just make things because I need to.
Totally.
You know, less because like, oh, this is what people will like, or this is what like people were. I don't know. I think I just kind of like stuff comes out of me, and then I capture it and I put it out, and I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, it's not really yours anymore once you put it out. It's kind of like belongs to the public in a way.
Yeah, and in a sense, like I mean, this is kind of getting into like more like idea, like some like spiritual idea.
Cool. Let's do it.
Theory.
Yeah,
But like
I'm here
I mean,
for
I
it.
feel like a lot of the time, like when stuff's coming out or like I'm writing, it's like it doesn't even feel like me sometimes. I don't know, maybe that's like
No, that makes
like
sense.
especially with like lyrics and stuff, like I'll just be like putting these words out and I'm like, where the
Like
fuck
it's
is
coming
that
through
from?
you.
Like yeah, like kind of more like it's just like channeling through, like I don't know.
So that's a pretty common. I mean, I know exactly what you mean. Where's it coming from? Do you think? Like it's coming from somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm into like the idea of like collective consciousness, and like, you know, that ideas are kind of like in a different realm above us, and like we are kind of just like channeling them and like processing them and regurgitating them over and over again, you know.
Yeah.
And I think also thinking about that kind of like takes the ego out of it, which like artists and egos is a whole
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, I don't know if it's something I totally understand, but I just kind of like trust.
You should just go with it. I think it's
Yeah,
in my experiences. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Just let it
just
happen.
kind of like surrender to it, and it's always like I feel like beneficial and produces like pretty cool results.
Yeah, I think when I force it too much, that's when I'm like just unsatisfied. I think the song I'm probably the most satisfied with on this EP is the one with the flute track, Signs and Wonders.
That's
And
track 4 or 3.
Yeah,
track 4. Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
I think it's my favorite too.
That was the last one I recorded.
Okay.
And recording that song was hilarious to record because I think I was just like.
And you're playing the flute, yeah? That's you?
Yeah, I play.
Yeah.
I think it was just Ben sent me that drum track that he pre-recorded, and I just looped it. And I think I was literally in my room like during quarantine, like feeling kind of crazy, and I just went on Instagram Live, and I was like, I'm gonna demo a song right now, and I just like I think all the parts just came out in like 20 minutes, and then I like went back and like cleaned it up afterwards, and then the song was just like there, like it just
That's awesome. That's
We
really
came
cool.
out in like 20 minutes, and I wasn't even. I think I was just like feeling restless because I had been.
We definitely like that one. I think we made that clear on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you listen to the episode? Did
I
you
did listen to the
do you have
episode.
any questions for us or anything you guys want to clear up with us,
Yeah,
or
off the bat,
Yeah.
open.
did we get anything right or wrong?
I think you got some things right. There were some things that were laughable. I would say that
That's okay.
some points that I was like, that's a hot take.
I edited out some
um,
take. I told you I was a little drunk, so there's some takes I got that were too hot for even
oh,
me.
there's
That I
Too hot for
even
the
hotter
I
internet.
edit.
takes.
Oh yeah, we
Wow.
edit. I make it very transparent. My
Yeah.
episodes are heavily edited, but I edit it so smooth you can't tell. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they are. I take out so many. Like Dan and I both stutter. Like
Hmm.
when we were thinking, and
We have
sometimes
like a we have a joke about it.
if we're baffled enough, there's a joke that if we really stutter, it's because I know we're searching for words and I leave those stutters in. But usually it's just
Yeah,
us
it's
being
okay.
bad at talking.
Yeah.
So what did let's say what did we get right that you were surprised we got right? Is there anything in that
Ooh, yeah, that's a
category?
great question.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that was touched on, like as far as production and stuff, which I think you guys were kind of like trying to like talk through and figure out like on the fly. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think
Hmm.
Dan kind of alluded to that, like, oh, it seems like these were recorded like at different times or like yada yada yada. And I
Hmm.
think that like that was accurate. Like this is actually the first I think this is. I mean, when I played with Frank Humor, we put out like some live house show demos that
Hmm.
sounded really bad because it was a house
You all
show.
didn't have an official like studio
Well, we
release?
never really
No
put out
shit. I didn't know
any
that.
music. Yeah, so this was honestly
This is
like the
your
first
previous
time.
band. If anyone's any
Yeah,
Frankie and Murr, if anyone's curious what they just said.
yeah, but this was kind of the first time of me like self-producing and like releasing music, and so I was like, yes, that is how all that happened. I recorded these with one mic in a room in a
Hmm.
house, and then I recorded this one different because I learned some new stuff.
You
And like,
recorded all those?
yes,
That's awesome.
That's really
yeah.
rad.
So
That
those
that
were
makes me
all,
think a lot different about this record.
yeah. And I think that is something I was like wanting, which I guess I was curious of like what your approach is. Like to me, I was kind of like, damn, I wish they would have just like taken that into consideration when talking about it.
Hmm.
That like that is the level that this is at, you know?
Take what?
Um,
And the fact that you recorded it like one mic by yourself, like in like kind of an order.
or just like being like, oh, this is the first release that this person's ever
I
put
think
out, like kind
we
of.
did mention that. I think we did kind of say like this is a newer artist, and we were kind of
Mhm.
wondering. I think we were just a little wondering about the uneven nature of the recording quality, but that makes perfect sense doing it like
Yeah.
that, and that makes it better. Even like doing that all that shit on one mic is like it's fucking kind of baller, and it makes me
Yeah.
like it even better.
So yeah, I think that one. Yeah,
We
I
got
think
one
that's
chat
just,
question I'll get to.
I'm trying to think what else.
You did say
Oh,
genre was a thing that we touched on, and
mhm.
even like sounding too much like a genre or like a band or going for that and wondering that was a
Yeah,
topic.
that was really interesting to me. That was really. I hope there is a day where I can make music in Grand Rapids and the whole discussion is not diverted to the band heaters. That's all I have to say
That's
about
what
that.
happens though when bands get
I
big.
know, I
Yeah.
know, and I feel like that's just like like you go to like the hardcore scene and it's like, oh,
Hmm.
you're in the shadow of a lot of spew. You go, you know, it's just like I think that's just how people think about
Right.
music, which maybe I just
Hmm.
need to accept that. But I think it's funny because the majority of these songs, other than like the one I recorded during quarantine, were written like when I was out in California.
Oh no
Hmm.
shit.
So to me, these sound like very California. Like when I was
Mhm.
like, because I have like a teaching gig that I spend like 3 months out like teaching in California, like for the summer. So
Mhm.
it was like interesting to like hear that feedback when I'm like, oh, I feel like I was over here like ripping off all these California bands.
When we
Like,
do
Oh,
in
okay.
episode the Hollywood Makeout episode, we talk about this genre, and we can just call it the genre. And we in this episode kind of say this is a Grand Rapidsy sound, but in that one episode, we do say it's a California sound that's co-opted by Grand Rapids
Yeah.
people. You know,
That's true. Yeah.
and you talked about collective unconscious, or collective consciousness. What if like the genre thing is that's just all y'all are doing? And I'm not saying y'all like pushing like an other than thing,
yeah,
but there's a lot of bands that are doing a kind of similar sound that
totally. Yeah. And I mean, I think there's a lot of bands that like have similar sounds like outside of Grand Rapids where I'm like, oh, that
Definitely.
could be a Grand Rapids
100%, yeah.
band, you know?
Right.
So
Or
I
people
think
from
that's
people
it's
from
a
Grand Rapids would like
slippery,
this band or
Hmm.
something.
yeah, I think it's a slippery slope because also I would say that we are all immersed in this genre. And so like maybe we wouldn't say that about like other genres that are also like very prolific and like have a
Hmm.
huge like
Yeah.
popularity in Grand Rapids just because we're not like plugged into them.
Hmm.
So I think maybe that's a little bit of like our like bubble. Like
Totally.
we are all
Yeah.
existing in that bubble, and
Right. We're aware of
yeah.
that too. This show is for our bubble. Like we
Yeah.
could review any bands we want to, but we're doing these specific regional bands because
Mhm.
like it's kind of a little microcosm we all have a say in.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
so easy to like, the bubble is so like supportive and like very like close knit, and we're trying to like maybe break that up a little bit and like, create some kind of dichotomy within the bubble, but
Or
we're while being in it,
objectivity or something,
Yeah.
some kind of further discussion.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, how do you guys go into a review? Like, do you just go in totally blind? Do you like to do research first? Like, what's
Well, on
what's your
episode 5,
process?
I like to be too drunk for my own good.
Slightly drunk,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it kind of depends, but usually it's a lot of times it's like our first or early listen for the record, and usually the research comes for me at least while I'm listening to the record. I'll kind of like go to the socials or check out the liner notes and Bandcamp page or whatever.
I don't do as much of that. I listen kind of on headphones. I listen on my phone. I listen on speakers if I can. Usually while not doing stuff or casually doing stuff, depending on how much I enjoy it or how much of a chore it is. And if it becomes a chore, then I kind of sit down and do it like homework. But usually I just write out. I go track by track and write out notes. And then
Hmm.
Dan and we do a Zoom call. We don't talk at all before the show about the record. We might
Hmm.
just be like, "Oh boy, this record," or
Yeah,
like this
doozy.
fucking record. Like we
Yeah.
just like all we'll just like we'll
Oh.
mention the record. We'll just be like,
Yeah, we'll
this.
just like put a song in and we'll be like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I'll just sign him
we'll talk
a
about that with
face
the
like
next
this.
band.
Yeah.
Sugartone will be like Point Nemo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where like we don't really prepare at all. We just do it and then I edit. A
Yeah.
lot of the work is in post production.
Okay.
So there was a lot that I got edited out of your episode. There was more that we went off about all sorts of things, but I was like, some of this is not even relevant. So I kind of
Yeah.
pick and choose what we end up saying.
Mm.
Which is
Yeah, we
that
go on
surprising
tangents
for
a
you?
lot.
Is that ever surprising for you, Dan? Like what the episode ends up sounding like, or is it like
No.
pretty close to what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, I trust you, and like we say a lot of stupid
We got
shit.
confused about this record.
Mhm.
We got confused about track
Yeah.
1 and track 2, and I'd really
Yeah, that's
clean. I had
right.
to really clean that up, and I don't know if you could tell, but we were like right away we got the tracks mixed up somehow. We got a question from the chat.
Yeah, let's hear the question
Justin
here.
from Low Order says, "I'd like to hear about the album cover. The artwork is wonderful, and I'm curious to know its meaning and how, if it's meant to, does it relate to or capture the songs?"
That's a good question. That artwork is a collage stuttering too, made by my friend Steven Endelman. I don't even know how to say his last name. Endelman, I think. But he is he's a collage artist and like an art therapist and
Mhm.
just does a lot of like he's like a pretty multidisciplinary maker in Grand Rapids. But I didn't even like commission him to like make something. I just like saw he like posted on his art page like this collage he made forever ago, and I can't even explain it. I was just at the minute I saw it, I was like, I think
Thank you
that's
for reminding me. I have that.
that's
Why don't
it.
I fucking pull up that fucking album art?
Yeah, but
It's rad.
I just loved it. I remember like saving it on my Instagram, and I would
Hmm.
go back like every day for like 2 weeks just to like stare at it. I don't know. I
That's
was just
awesome.
like really hypnotized by it, and I felt like it
Mhm.
kind of like captured this kind of like dark
There it is.
but like sort of
Mhm.
shimmery, like mysterious quality
Mhm.
that like I try and capture in my music. And it just kind of, I don't know, I didn't even really have to think about it, which is great because usually when you're overthinking things,
Yeah.
things go wrong. So
This is a topic that came up with our last live stream with Fruit Punch, but are there any like non-musical or like visual elements that
Love
inspire
that.
your music?
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, I would say that like traveling that's not quite like another art form, but like just like traveling and like I drive to travel a lot. Like when I go to California to work, I drive out there. So I've like taken many like cross country trips like by myself. And yeah, I just feel like extremely inspired by like being in new places and especially like alone when you're like kind of scared.
Totally.
Just like not knowing what you're, I don't know. I feel like just traveling and like being on the road is like just really like puts your brain in a different place, which I really enjoy. So yeah, I would say like I feel like honestly most of my music is like maybe like reflective of like landscapes, you know, like I think I do make these really like long kind of like sort of drony songs that are like changing and evolving the way like landscapes do when you're like driving through places, and I think that's just inspired by me like being on the road a lot. um but other than that, like I'm trying to think of like some visual artists or that I'm really inspired by.
Or just general things like
Yeah, I think
I
that
went on a lot
answers
of
it.
hikes during like late
Kids, I
fall.
don't know, I teach kids,
Hmm.
and like I don't know, kids are fucking brilliant. Anyone who says otherwise like hasn't talked to kids. Like they're, I feel like I don't know, I'm really inspired by kids because they're just like they don't have the reservations and like the jaded bitterness that adults have, but they are just like these pure balls of like creative energy. And when you just talk to them like people about art, like I don't know, kids are brilliant. So yeah, I'm definitely
Hell yeah.
inspired by just teaching music and art to kids. But yeah.
Nice. Anything about else from the podcast that you want us to touch on, or you wanted to touch on?
Oh, there was I remember you guys were talking a little bit about vocals and just having like
Mm.
more like buried and like kind of disguised vocals, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is like, I get where you're coming from with that. But I think for me, I just like don't care about words that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the music I enjoy listening to, like some of my favorite vocalists, I can't tell what they're saying half the time. Like Tom York, I
Mm-hmm.
love Tom York, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying ever, but I kind of like that because I think you hear your brain will kind of like put together syllables and sounds and like kind of formulate what you think they're saying, and then I think it kind of will take on like a different meaning for each person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of like that quality about music when it is a little more ambiguous and it's not like, all right, here's 6 verses of a folk song where we're just telling you how it is. Like I think
Totally. Yeah.
that's just like kind of what I'm more drawn to. And also I think when words are bad in a song, it just ruins the song. So
When the lyrics are bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's some bands that I'm like, man, I love your sound, but I just cannot listen to what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
That happens a lot.
We talked.
Yeah.
I have that experience with the Chili Peppers. You know that band. I think I love that band, but his lyrics sometimes are just
Yeah.
so embarrassingly terrible that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
get that with Best Coast. I
Oh
like
oh
yeah.
yeah.
really like I love their sound,
Mhm.
like especially like their early like lo-fi albums, but I just can't handle hearing whining about your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like I
Even
don't know. I
some
just,
like Weezer and stuff, you're just like, this is so dumb.
yeah.
But yeah, I think I am similar in that way with you. Like of I listen to a lot of artists where you can't really understand the vocals, and then ever since starting this podcast, I have kind of adjusted how I listen to music, specifically for review because everyone puts work into lyrics, and some
Mhm.
people aren't. A lot of people are like not like you and me who do care about lyrics, and so I try to at least honor that aspect of the music in some way now. But typically I am not a lyrics person at all. I really don't care. I'm more driven by like melody and like sound design.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think like if you were to like really zoom in and like read the lines I'm saying, like I like to think that I kind of like capture what the words are like with the music, and then they
Hmm.
kind of just like build this larger thing where like you don't really like need to hear every single syllable that. And also my lyrics are like pretty repetitive most of the time because it's just how they come out. So
Yeah,
it's like if you didn't
totally.
hear it this time, I'll probably say it again later in the song.
They made more sense when I was listening today. I was like, as I was getting my broadcaster set up and shit and getting myself less hungover, I listened to the record again, and your vocals came through more. Like it's growing on me, you know.
Mhm.
The more, which is good. I mean, I never didn't like it, so it's always nice to start off on like a good foot with a record and have it grow on you. You know,
Yeah,
there's less to overcome.
absolutely.
Chat. Any more questions for Vanessa? I think we pretty much talked about everything.
Yeah, I feel like we touched on anything.
This seemed really good. Sugartone, if you're there, get ready to connect. Wait until Vanessa gets booted, and then we'll connect you. We'll see if
Mhm.
Chat's got anything, and then in the meantime, Vanessa, do you have anything that you want to plug that's coming up, or any music?
Yeah, I
Anything that
am.
you believe in? Whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's a big
yeah.
question.
You have a TED talk or anything?
We have no schedule. This is the beauty of the live stream is like it's kind of TV and it's kind of radio, but we're just on our own schedule
Yeah,
and,
Yeah.
people are just booping in.
and we're just in my
Exactly.
I'm just in my mud room, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I am currently, well, like I said, I just finished like demoing out a bunch of material that I'm kind of like looking ahead at like how I want to record because I think I've decided I don't want to be my own producer because I just don't care about microphones that much and that's
Mhm.
fine.
That's
So
totally
I
fine.
feel that these are like $30 microphones we're both using.
yeah,
They're just matched.
I just use what I have in front of me and it sounds the way it sounds and that's where I'm at. But I'm
Mhm.
realizing I'm reaching a point where like I would like for someone else to just do that for me. Now that I kind of like, you know, I got one under my belt. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just kind of like looking ahead at like how that's gonna happen, like maybe this summer. And I'm going to be producing or like co-producing a video for the library for
There you
their
go. Perfect.
music not in the stacks series. So my friend Robbie Fisher, who from Dogtown Studios, is going to be, we're going to kind of like do a creative little shoot because we're like studio neighbors. We both have a studio space over on the west side. So yeah, just kind of like dipping my toes back into like putting together like a little solo type set that will be like premiering like sometime in May, I think.
Nice.
So I don't know. It's kind of weird to think about what's coming next because we don't really know
Yeah.
It's been we all
what it
kind
looks
of
like.
on
But
hold.
yeah.
Nicole Ray says hi Vanessa and says
Hi,
I
Nicole.
love this record and put a little
With a little trophy
with a trophy.
emoji.
Oh, thanks, Nicole. I
Trophy
miss you.
emojis.
Yeah.
I know Robbie. Robbie is from Paraguay, where he was born.
Mhm.
I was also born in Paraguay, and he's
Yeah.
the only person that I really know that I'm like friends with that is from that country that I know.
Cool. Yeah, I love collaborating with Robbie. He's
Cool.
just, I don't know, he's just like a really positive
Yeah, he's a good dude.
creator.
Mhm.
I don't know, he's just this good
Yeah.
energy, good
Rob is
vibes.
tight. I actually met him for the first time years ago. Some friends of mine, we put together a 1969 tribute show, and a bunch of like supergroup hybrid bands got together, and Robbie was in my hybrid band as on drums, and like I
Cool.
didn't know him before, but he was friends with my friend Bill, and he
hmm
hopped on, and we've been friends since.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I think he's been someone who I've seen more than most people during the pandemic, just because we are in the same, like we have the same warehouse
Mhm.
floor. Like he's down the hall from me, so we'll just kind of like run into each other in the
That's awesome.
hallway.
He's
Yeah.
he's at the same spot he's always been at.
Yeah, over
Right on.
like on by the train bridge.
You don't got to
and
say it.
stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so secret.
That's okay. We record in that building too. We've done our last few records there, except for this
Okay,
the last one we did. Been around and the two tapes before that at that
Yeah.
building
cool.
too with Matt Tenclay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's also down the hall. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You should work with him. I think
Matt's the best. Like,
yeah, Matt would probably love working with
yeah, the
him.
commute would
Yeah.
be great.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Matt-
Yeah, exactly.
he does it right.
Cool. Well,
Um,
anything else you wanna say to our watching
Well,
viewing audience or
Let's
Dan? You
ask
got
them
anything?
we've been asking our artists this recommend us some music to listen to.
Oh, I got one more question too. Yeah, some music that you
some
listen
music.
to that we should listen to.
Oh man, hold on. There's one artist that I've been like obsessed with, but I can't remember their name, so I'm gonna pull up my phone real
Okay.
quick.
Cool.
Because they have kind of like a long name that I just always scramble the words around. Where is this?
Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, yes.
I just call them the Chili Peppers.
Oh, here we go. I've been really into Salami Rose Joe Lewis. It's just this like
Hmm.
it's just kind of, oh, Dan, you said something about a band that was like Death by Chocolate or something.
Death by Chocolate, yeah.
Which I haven't listened to them, but the way you explain them, it kind of reminds me of this artist too.
Okay.
Like it just sounds like elevator music you'd hear on like a spaceship.
Hell yeah.
And there's a lot of like weird talking, and it's like it's kind of got like almost like the lo-fi beats to chill and study to vibe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
a
totally.
little more creative, I guess.
Okay, cool.
So
you should check
I've-
out Death by Chocolate though. It's awesome.
Yeah, I wrote them down
Sweet.
after listening to the episodes. Yeah, I've been listening to them a lot. God, who am I listening to? I'm obsessed with the new Holy Wave album. I just drove back from Arizona and like listened to that like for 20 hours straight.
Awesome.
But what else have I been listening to? And I've been listening to a lot of like early Talking Heads, which has been a fun deep dive. So
that's all good answers.
Yeah, that's my my mixed bag. Right
Cool.
now.
Oh, my last question. What's the first thing you're going to do once the pandemic's like over? Like once it's like all clear, everyone's or enough of us are vaxxed and it's no longer a threat to resume our normal way of life. What's the first thing you're going to do?
I think I'm going to go to the Southerner and eat biscuits on the patio.
Yes.
My answer is a restaurant answer.
Yeah,
My
I really miss just like eating like diner food and drinking a beer.
I love diner food. That's one of my favorite cuisines.
Mm-hmm. Or like travel internationally. I have like
I thought that's what I have written down here. I thought you'd travel.
Live that you just have to get on a plane to go see them. So I would love to do go visit some people. But
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on our show.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to do this. I do appreciate thoughtful critique, even if it's not always 100% nice. Yeah. I appreciate that though.
I think it was overwhelmingly positive for the most part.
Yeah, I think
we do love your record.
Yeah. And we're gonna be nuanced about it. And when you put out some new stuff, please send it in to review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We will talk about it again and have you on. This was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we'll have you say something and I'll boot you.
I say something?
Yeah. Whatever you want to leave us with. Some final words.
Oh man. I don't know. Take a walk today.
See you later.
All right.
Perfect. That was good.
Thank you so much, Vanessa of Kissin Kate, for joining us. Go check out Forbidden Fruit by Kissin Kate.
Yeah. We put the link in the chat.
Yes,
I can get that going. All right. This next record.
This one is we had a lot of fun talking about this one.
We did. Anything about Kissin Kate? We should wrap it up. I think we're good. We talked a lot about genre on this episode, and we're trying to just explore the idea of what genre even is, what derivative works are, and yeah. I think let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we got Sugartone Noise Company, and we're going to talk for a moment before we bring these guys on. We have all of them.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had a multiple.
Hey, go ahead and mute your video for me real quick. We're gonna have you on in a second, or like unshow your video.
We're doing it live, baby.
We're flying by the seat of our live pants. Let me get rid of all this stuff here.
Yeah.
This was, I think we started talking about this record at like episode 5. Hey, can you here?
You guys can just turn your cameras off.
Just turn your cameras off for me, and mute your camera. All right, cool, perfect. And we're gonna bring you on in a second. That's showbiz, baby.
That is showbiz.
We talked about this record about like hour 6 of sitting in one space, and working on a record. I'm working on podcasting crap.
So we were already.
We were running hot. We were fatigued. This record, Local Band Asked to Leave by Sugartone Noise Company, is our next topic of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You want to kick it off?
Record came out a little late, fall pandemic or late summer, August 15. And this, I don't think we knew any of the members prior to listening to this record. So
yeah, this was one of the first kind of stranger submissions. Not stranger, but like we didn't really know these gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. I'm not sure exactly how we'll have to ask about that. How did we even?
How did they find out about the podcast?
How did they find out about us? I'm gonna bring up their Bandcamp, sugartonenoiseco.bandcamp.com. Let me bring up their album image too.
Yeah, bring up their album art.
This was kind of an uneven record.
Yeah, a little bit uneven.
And I think we say that I listened to it again today, and it was still kind of
Yeah.
uneven. I was still hungover. This was also some of this was not hangover music.
Yeah. I think we touched on having it be recorded by Rick at Cold War.
That's right.
We didn't talk about the album art at all, really. So that's something that we kind of
No, we
missed.
didn't. We missed that on both these fucking albums.
Yeah.
And I apologize for that.
Yeah.
That's not great.
So, and I actually really do like the album art for this one. It's Julio will eventually put it up
Yeah.
for folks to see, but
It's up there. I just got up. Are you watching
Sweet.
on the phone? Not really.
I was at their Bandcamp real quick.
Oh. Yeah. Uneven, but man, there is a lot of stuff going on this record, and there's a lot of like decent playing. There's a lot of
There's
really
a lot,
good playing.
yeah. There's no doubt in my mind that these are all like talented guys.
I think it just maybe was uneven, but man, this is another record that's growing on me too. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like I listened to some of it today, and there was one or two parts in like every song that kind of made me dance around a little bit.
Yeah,
while I
it
was
tickles
getting
my
ready.
like the classic rock lover in me. I'm a big.
Yeah.
I love classic rock, and I love just again like I'm a big Bruce stan.
You
So
are. There's a lot of
always
Bruce
about
in
that.
here.
Yeah, a lot of Bruce in there, which I'm all about, and I love Van Halen too. So
There
we
was
talked
some
about
Van
that.
Halen in there.
There is some Van Halen tinges in there. So
I was using the bathroom listening to my phone, and that came on. It was
yeah.
great.
So
It was-
I'm all about rippers.
good
I'm all
bathroom
about
song.
rockers.
well, shit. Let's just bring them on.
Yeah, let's bring on Sugartone Noise
So,
Company.
everybody, Bandscamps, thank you so much for tuning in, and we have a special treat. They're waiting backstage. This is Sugartone Noise Company, Noise Co.
Noise Co.
We'll have to ask them.
on.
I don't know. Go ahead and unmute everything. Come on in. Come on in. Come through. Come through. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. It's our first time having the whole band. We're
This
very
is
excited.
our first full band one.
First full band.
Holy Moses.
We're honored. We're truly deeply
Awesome.
honored.
Why don't we just go around and have you guys introduce yourselves and tell us what Sugartone Noise Company is?
All right. Well, I'm Ian.
Hey, Ian.
Nice to see you guys.
Nice to see
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Mm-hmm.
I
Thanks.
gotta turn I had both videos rolling in this lag.
Yeah, if you watch the stream, it'll be a little bit of delay. So
It's
That's what-
killing me. Anyway, I'm
you can
back.
watch the stream. Just turn the sound off. That's what I usually do.
Right. So anyway, I think I'll let those guys talk first, and then we'll go over what I think Sugartone
Let's do it.
is.
okay.
Sounds good. So, Ian, I'm getting your title going. Let's go around. Who's up next? Introduce yourself.
I'm Peter.
I'll go next.
Hey, Peter.
Never mind.
You both go. We got Peter. We got perfect. We got Peter, and then who's this other gentleman over here?
I'm Carlin. I played drums on this record in
Awesome.
this band.
And then I'm guessing Peter plays bass.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, guys! I am so stoked that you are on and going to join us. This is the biggest guest panel we've had so far. So we're gonna probably break part of the internet tonight.
Yeah, we had to.
The very specific
we got the
corner.
servers running hot right now.
The very specific corner of the internet that we live in.
Yes.
Just gonna snap it.
All right.
I
So,
love it.
Ian, tell us about Sugartone Noise Company. What is Sugartone Noise Company?
Well, Sugar Turbid is something that it's a 50-50 co-writing project. So the three of us all went to high school together.
Okay.
We all like grew up together out in the boonies in Greenville, Michigan. And Peter and I and Carlin had been jamming on and off since high school.
I love that.
But then
That's awesome.
Peter and I agreed to, like, we had the goal of just putting our heads together and two-man writing an album. So that's what it is. It's that was the whole project right there. That's it.
So the two of you wrote this together. Did you have much influence in each other's songs, or was it pretty split?
We presented the songs to the band in like a probably 75-80% finished state.
Nice.
So there's definitely influence, but the songs are mostly our own songs.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, Peter, Carlin, how accurate is that description of what Sugartone is, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say it's spot on.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Is this
Okay.
band still active or on hiatus?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. We've got news for you.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
is this an exclusive?
Whoa,
We've had-
Bandscamps
It is an
exclusive.
exclusive.
this is a Bandscamps exclusive. We
Warm my
decided to
hands up for this one.
piggyback.
Ow, that actually hurt. It was so hot.
So this is not publicly announced knowledge, but Sugartone Noise Co. is no longer a band.
Okay.
Wow. Rest in peace.
Just
Rest
between
in peace.
just between us. Just between us.
Just between us and the internet.
Yeah, right. Just I hope nobody's listening right now. That's a lie. I hope everybody hears this. Anyway, yeah, Sugartone Noise Co. Considering that we met our initial goal, we wanted to crank out an album, and Peter found work out in Tennessee. We called it on good terms. So that project is over, and that's it. That's Sugartone Noise Co.
Wow. Local bassist asked to leave.
Asked to transfer.
Asked to.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Were you transferred?
All right. Yeah, I see
I'm
what's going
starting
on here.
a country solo career, actually.
Hey, I'm all about that.
Oh,
That's the
Let's
natural
go.
progression of things.
Yeah.
Right.
that's
Nice.
always what's next.
Okay. Well, rest in peace, Sugartone Noise Company. I'm so glad we got in while we got in.
Mhm. Yeah. So we can open it up. What were your thoughts on our episode? Did you guys all listen to it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thoughts.
Okay.
Let's open it up.
Let's get some feedback.
Well, I mean, I think we were a little sticker shocked because you guys, I know you billed it as fair criticism. I think you guys were meaner than
Ooh.
easily all of the other feedback we got. So it was,
Okay.
it
Okay.
was interesting.
Mean. We're not trying to be mean.
We're trying to be mean. We're
I
just trying
know.
to be in depth.
Right.
I know.
Right.
We
I
know.
just-
We know.
yeah.
Though. We know what's coming
Yeah.
out. Come mean.
And yeah, I think we found. I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody the whole time, so somebody told me to shut up at some point. But
Yeah. What? Yeah. Jump in whenever.
I just think you guys made a lot of right calls about the state of the band or the goals of the band, and I think there were a lot of valuable points about like production and some insight as to how you would have arranged songs on the record differently. That seemed to be like a lot of the feedback that we thought of. Like our planning for that was entirely on the flip side, but it was good insight anyway. And then it was essentially, it became very apparent that we like dad rock and you guys don't.
I do love dad rock, but I'm picky, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan,
It's fair,
Dan
you know.
likes dad rock. I do too.
I do.
But I think for me, it always fall the poppier and more almost the more daddish, the better. But there is a certain amount of like horny dad vibe that I kind of start like not liking.
There is a
And maybe-
threshold, I guess.
You know,
Yep.
this is kind of a horny album too. I mean, not that Kiss and Kate was sensual. This one's a little horny.
Yeah. This
What's-
one's definitely horny.
What was horny about it?
Some of the
Yeah.
lyrics
Can
are
you
a
tell
little-
us what about it made you horny?
Yeah, I would like.
Point Nemo gets me
Specifics.
horny for sure.
Point Nemo
All
was
right.
is a
Me
horny
too.
song.
Yeah,
Me
Point
too.
Nemo is like
That's a jammer.
That's a jammer. So like in, just in practice, it just gets you,
Horny.
half-mast at least.
That's
Yeah.
great because that song's about suicide. So
Now we know what gets you off.
I do love emo too, so.
Yeah. Ian and I have become buddies over Discord recently, and we don't really know each other all that well, but we were talking about this record, and he said it's about suicide, and I was like, I thought you were saying poor Nemo, and it was about finding Nemo, you know?
nope. That's another thing that we noticed about the record is at least my approach to my half of these songs is I pour over the lyrics first and foremost. I know you guys were talking to Vanessa and you guys were all kind of in agreement, like lyrics are secondary to you, and I know that's like the other end of the spectrum, but
To Dan, I like lyrics a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, Dan,
Yeah.
I think it's secondary.
Yeah, I am a lyrics nut, and for me, a lot of the writing comes like I'll get a little string of melody, and then I'll write a phrase that goes with that, and then I'll go with the lyrics before building the rest of the song around it.
That's really interesting. I love that.
And that's a big deal to me. So I was thinking about before you guys, well, I didn't know when you were taping or not, but I was thinking about just sending you guys all the typed up lyrics of the whole album, and I just wonder like how would that have influenced the discussion, or would it have, or whatever.
I would absolutely, if there were lyrics available, like before we're like reviewing a record, I definitely
He reads
try
them.
to like read all the lyrics.
Yeah, he reads them. I don't really. But I think I can pick them out better than you can because I'm more lyric centric. I can pick out
Definitely.
lyrics.
Yep.
But at the same time, I think that's like goes along with it. You know, like the lyrics. If you present that, that's part of the artwork. You know, and like kind of part of we're trying to look at these works as works of art, right? Because like Local Band Asked to Leave is a work of art on its own. You know, so how do we even address this? And I think lyrics are totally part of it.
Yeah, it's like saying like if there's an artist statement like next to like a painting or something, I'm gonna read that, and if there's not, like fine, but like the artist statement is just as important because they obviously made a conscious decision to put it there.
Yeah, liner notes are kind of the artist statement. Chat, any questions for Sugartone while we're here? I'm just going to interject. Do listen to their record. Do you have any other links? I got your Bandcamp up here. Anything else you want me to pop up?
That's pretty much it. But we've got more news.
Oh
yeah.
Shit!
You said there was,
Here's
an
the thing.
exclusive. I don't care
We
that you guys
got-
broke up. That doesn't matter.
Well, if you don't care about that, then we've got 2 really good exclusive news chunks for you.
Let's
Okay.
go. Let's
So
go.
we did a live stream show in December that went over fairly well and people enjoyed, and we did that at Cold War with Rick again. And we had him mix down the audio from that, and we chopped it up into tracks, and we're gonna drop it as a live album because fuck it, we don't exist anymore. So
Very nice. I like live
That's a good way to
albums.
go out. That's awesome.
Are these going to be the same songs or some newer songs too, or older songs?
it's actually about 2/3 new stuff. So we were geared
Cool.
up. We did
Wow.
so much writing, but like just in COVID shutdown that we had a whole second album ready to go, and that live show is about 2/3 entirely new stuff, and some of that new stuff. Hang on, if plug number two. If plug number 2 wasn't enough for you, here's plug number 3. Since Peter's moved away and we're all on good terms,
That's what he thinks.
He had to add that part in. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to sound like everybody was mad at anybody else because it's not the case at all.
I'm actually in a federal penitentiary. That's what happened.
They let you Zoom over there? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
This is
Wow.
counts as visitation.
Yeah.
This is my one phone call.
Yeah, yes, use your
They,
phone call on
they
this.
put you on furlough to do this.
But Carl and I are back in a new project that's sort of like the continued ideas from this into like, as you guys noticed, like Local Band Asked to Leave sort of sounded like us trying to find a sound, and
Definitely.
we finally kind of feel like we did. And Julio, I think I mentioned this to you on Discord, but it really centered closer to where Point Nemo landed. And
Yes.
it's definitely got less of the Toyota-thon rock, and it's got more of the there are drivers. There's some sort of like, I mean, if we're talking about influences, I don't know if I want to taint it, and then you guys are looking to listen to it, be like, you thought this sounded like Guided by Voices? This fucking sucks. Anyway, these are
Can we swear?
Dan's ears might have perked up when you said that band.
I
by
was
the
like-
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love GBV.
Yeah, you do like GBV.
I do too.
Where do we start? Where do I start with GBV? I know people like them. Where do I start?
Alien Lanes.
I was just gonna say, I think Alien Lanes is the way to start, and I think B1000 is
Yeah,
the second.
Alien Lanes and B1000.
Chat, GBV, anyone? So new
yeah.
band. Are you all involved?
Carl and I are involved, and Peter is not involved because he lives in Tennessee, but he is happily applauding us and supportive of what we're doing.
Are you doing music still, Peter? Are you doing anything? You're not applauding.
No, I'm not applauding.
You don't approve.
He's like,
No, I mean, honestly, this all happened like 2 months ago. So,
gotcha.
I'm still relocating. As
Oh,
it
man.
works.
I see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the new band is called King Lemon.
King
be called-
Lemon.
King Lemon. So look out for that. There's a dead Facebook page already, and there's some British punk band that has the Bandcamp camped out right now, but it's not the name of their band. So I'm gonna get a hold of them and see if I can like buy it, or I don't know. I'll figure something out.
Offer them some shilling. Offer them a few shillings for their trouble.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I've got some sixpence for you.
There you go.
I'm the
The
rich.
shepherd's pie.
Throw it at them.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. Congratulations on the new bands. Congratulations on your relocation or furlough. Uh, so
I'm
let's
never
hear
say,
from Peter and Carlin about their thoughts on the podcast.
yeah. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Carl.
I guess I would echo a lot of the same things that Ian said. I kind of had the outsider perspective almost. It felt like just, with Ian and Peter doing the bulk of the writing. So I think the differences in the songs are more noticeable to me than a lot of people maybe as, like an Ian or a Peter song. I guess is kind of how I classify those in my head. So I think the unevenness of the album is a fair critique, definitely, and I think we noticed that later on in the process, and I think that's where a lot of that comes from, is just the literally just the creative differences of two people. But as Ian mentioned too, I think after this album we found kind of the sound, which I think if you give the live album a listen, the sound that we, I guess, found would probably come out better in that, or as what we would consider maybe the final sound of what Sugartone was. So I don't know. I had a blast making this record, and it was kind of a big goal, like from the start of this project when these guys pulled me in to say, hey, we need a drummer. We'd played together before, and this was, I don't know how many years after we had played together initially, but it was a great time for me.
We've known each other for that long. It's so cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, so we
that.
played in high school. Yeah, we played together in high school, and then we all went to different colleges. Kind of got done with school, and we're starting our careers. And then, that's kind of when those guys approached me about, hey, let's get this going again. So it was great timing in my life, to get back into music, and that's kind of what it was for me for a while. So that was cool, and it's been cool to see what spawned out of that as well. And considering that we made an album, that was kind of one of the goals from the project, that those guys told me right up front, like, hey, we got all these songs we're writing, we want to play music, and then
it's
ideally
long.
if we
It's
can
a long
record an album
too. It's long.
Yeah, we had a lot of material. We had a lot of material that we felt like we could throw in there. So
I've never made an album that long, fucking ever.
Yeah,
I've never had enough stuff that was good enough that I felt like releasing, and all the stuff is good, is worth releasing, and it is like overall it's good. It's actually a good record, but it is uneven.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like I said, I think that's probably where some of that comes from. But another thing I would mention is the Bowie and the Springsteen references were spot on, because I think
Nice.
yeah, Ian is a big Springsteen guy and Peter is a huge Bowie guy. So as soon as you guys said that, I was like, that's literally what it is. Almost.
That's so rad.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a fun mix too.
That is
and
cool.
I think these two guys, like down here, Peter and Ian, influence each other a lot more than they think they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more crossover. Even if you wrote the song, you guys still chose to put your parts on top of it and shape it into what it was, So that's like commendable. I think we just had so many questions about the uneven nature of it, because I think at one point, I didn't like the last song all that much, and I was glad about it because I was like, if this last song's good, I am not going to know what it's
because there was some point
we're glad to
in the
not
record where
disappoint you.
oh yeah, Strange Bedfellows. We're like, oh, this song's awesome, and like it's where were you a few songs ago?
Yeah. And that's a good example of like when we're starting out, before we have anything recorded and released, like we lived and died on having to be able to play live, right? And so we needed to be able to do that. And so we didn't want to, partly we didn't know where we wanted to go. That's definitely significant, but we couldn't just keep writing stuff that had to be layered in a studio. We had to do stuff that we could do fairly well live, because that's where we were starting to try and get a little attention. And then when we actually got in the studio, we could have fun, but it was only going to be like a small portion of the album.
Yeah, it's expensive recording, and it takes up time, and it always takes up more time than you think it's going to.
Yeah, and you don't want to write a bunch of stuff that sounds good recorded, and then you get a gig and you're like, trust us, it sounds better on the recording, and then you have to disclaim your shit.
A lot of bands, they'll play songs that I'm always questionable. I'm like, this is not a live song. Like local bands, this is not a live song, and so you guys do sound and I thought sounded like a live-oriented rock band.
Yeah,
and
we're
then we
like-
talked about that too.
I think we said like
That
if we
comes
saw this
across.
band live, we're like, this is exactly what they'll sound like.
hmm
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
And we'll
We,
find
uh,
out on your live album that's coming out.
Yeah,
I'm so
Sure.
excited to hear it,
Definitely.
honestly.
fucking awesome.
Sounds pretty much the same. Yeah.
I mean, there are. I think the energy of us playing live, because I listened to both of them recently, like this week, sort of rehashing all this and sort of getting ready for this conversation. I listened to both of them, and there's an energy that I think we grabbed live, even in the studio, live streamed. That is like, it's hard to get on a recording, and our first real experience like recording an album, I think we left a little bit of the energy to be desired, but the live show shows it. And I mean, we're very live oriented, and a lot of our the most fun that we had was like filling up the back of Quinn and Tooties and just blowing the doors off. And it was,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, I think we were focused on like the parts and writing and playing things correctly. That even though I think you mentioned this, like how was it recorded? We did the three of our like the rhythm section and then added layers on top, and so it was in a way like live recorded, although we had like 20 takes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I think in hindsight, the second one's better than the first one in the sense that the first one we were very concerned about being correct, and I think if anything it made it a little tamer.
Yeah.
That can happen.
And the second one,
Yeah.
we didn't even think we were gonna do anything with it, so we didn't care, and it actually ended up
Right.
sounding better in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that with riffs when you record a riff and you're like, oh, if I play it really precise, it sounds like tame. But then if I actually played a little slop with some scratch to it, it's like, no, there it is. There's the rock.
Right.
All I had to do was loosen up a little bit,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Because you just overwork a thing, and I'm guilty of that too. We've scrapped
Same.
shit we've overworked, and
Oh,
I believe
yeah.
Julio, we just
So
been
many
like,
times.
that's so got somewhere so terrible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we tried to scrap stuff before we even got to the studio. I know that you guys mentioned I totally believe in the sunk cost fallacy, but we tried to. I mean, this was 10 songs, and we had like 16, 18, and we scrapped a bunch of them.
Okay.
Like tried to scrap them before we even got to that.
Sure.
So there was. I mean, I think it could have been like leaner, tighter if it was going to be like a balls out rockin' album. And it was we were still like, we were trying to avoid burning time as it was.
Mhm.
Totally.
That's just the reality of recording. I hate recording. I fucking hate it. That's why
I just now am starting to like it. I think I was really stressed out by it, and now that we've like done it a little, now I get it. Like you guys were talking about like adding creative stuff, and like now I get just like, okay, throw the shit at the wall, now throw more shit at the wall, and then throw more shit at the wall. And I like that. As long as like there's a good structure under the song. I like, if I've learned anything in the last year, it's been throw 3 times as much shit at the wall as you need.
you sometimes gotta be. You can't be too subtle with people.
Yeah.
They just don't get it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about working with Rick.
Yeah, tell us about that. I gotta use the bathroom, but I'm gonna watch on my phone while I do that. I have to be so.
I think most people are doing that, so that's cool.
Yeah, what was the experience working with Rick? We both know Rick, so
We love Rick.
Yeah,
Rick is
he's our man.
Yeah.
Rick is the guy.
Yeah, Rick is our dude. We initially went to Cold War because for our EP, which has some other non-album stuff. I don't know if you guys listened to that or not, but there are a couple of EP songs that we re-recorded for the album, and then there's some other EP stuff that we didn't revisit. But Rick just made it super easy, seamless. Like it was like he made it approachable, and he was into it. And I know that you guys also mentioned like Rick can be very hands-off as a producer, and I think that's true. And I think some of the decisions you guys were talking about, or like balance issues or the roughness, was probably examples of Rick giving us enough rope to hang ourselves with because he did. But I think Rick
We're
did. I think Rick just Yeah, I'm glad we snuck in a dick joke. And also,
Hey,
we, yeah, I think Rick did a great job, and I appreciate the hands-offness. I think
mhm,
our first shot maybe could have sounded cleaner and a little more zipped up if somebody was guiding us a little more, but
mhm,
I appreciate having, our decisions on tape and, learning the hard way.
for
And
sure.
I'll put it this way. I think anything from the recording side of things that looking back we could have done better. I'd say way more of them are, oh, I should have we should have added another part there, or
Mhm.
maybe my EQ was a little off and I was making it thin or whatever. I mean, most of my edits are pretty much, right, within stuff that's in arm's reach. It's just a
Mhm.
matter of hindsight.
For
Right.
sure. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. You're like, oh, like, why didn't I just do that like when I was there? Like,
Mhm.
Right.
absolutely.
That was fast.
It was just a pee.
Oh, there you go.
You think I was taking a big nasty dump
Do you guys have you seen like
during the
that
show?
internet like thing where the people are saying like every poo poo time is a pee pee time, but not every pee pee time is a poo poo time?
I have
Yeah.
not, but I know
Definitely
exactly
have
what you
seen
mean.
that.
Yeah.
The show sounds good. I was in the bathroom listening. You guys also everything sounds good. This is nice.
Cool.
We had a lot of fun
Um,
talking about this record.
Yeah.
And I think this was one of the records. I don't know if you said, because Vanessa asked us if we do any prep or anything before the show. This was one where we were like, we sent each other some like eye open emojis to each other. It was like,
Yeah.
that every text back was us doing
Yeah,
this.
just like-
yeah,
Yeah, just like
our
You
eyes
mean
are
like
leaving-
about listening to it or about?
just about because we don't want to we don't want to feed each other too much prompt about what to think about the record, but we will be like, this fucking record. And this was one
Yeah.
that went back and forth of like, I want to talk to you about this, but we can't right now.
yeah, we can't now.
You know,
Right.
Gotta save it for the podcast.
there was parts of this record I absolutely loved,
Yeah.
and I listened to today and like are just like, fuck yes. They
Well,
really
and
are.
another thing that you guys were talking about tracks 2 through 4 and not being into it, which of course is like fair, but it was really interesting, at least to me, because track 3, well, I don't know what the warm up shit or whatever.
Mhm.
The third song,
Yeah.
Seattle, is usually the crowd pleaser. Like most people we talk to love the shit out of that song, and it was really interesting. And then also,
Does that one have the guitar riff? That no 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 no.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
I might have sang that wrong, but
Mhm.
No, that was pretty
Pretty
good.
close.
Nice.
And then Sweet Jenna, Please, that was interesting because we did the whole submission thing where you throw it out on the internet. I can't remember the name of the website, but like indie blogs and like radio stations from all over the world will either like bite on it and play it or not. Sweet Jenna was one of the ones that they grabbed the most. So that was like actually on indie radio, like in the UK and France and Italy
Wow.
and like
That's
Quebec
awesome.
and stuff. That was the one
Soviet
that
Union
they
too.
really,
It was big in
yeah.
there.
yeah, the Soviet Union, and that was the one that they really loved. And I thought it was really funny that like, yeah, that's a weird culture shift thing because
you never know what people are gonna like, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm
find
sure
that
that
all
we
the time,
we all have in common probably much more of what kind of music we like than not. You know, we probably
Yeah.
all have a lot of shared
yeah.
shared
Yeah.
influence.
Absolutely.
I think I don't know what episode we talked about this on, but we say like every time you play live, and people say like, "Oh, I really dug this song." It's always a song that you were like, "Oh, we really like fucked that one
Fuck
up."
that one up.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm. Or
it's
hate
always
it.
that song. And that's always the song that people are like, "That one was
Yeah.
my favorite."
Me and this guy aren't friends anymore because he played that song bad when we played it live once, and they're like, "That's my favorite one," and I'm like, "Well, we're not friends anymore."
Yeah, cool. All right.
Like you didn't get it. You clearly fucking
Yeah,
missed
he
it.
clearly ruined that song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is great. Let's go. What's something that we should listen to?
Yeah.
What
give
have you
us a
been listening to?
recommendation.
What should our fans listen to? Our Fanscamps.
Our next album. Is
Shameless
that fair? Can we do that?
plug.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean we plugged the plug. We got all the plugs in there.
What's-
By the way,
What's a band
King
you like?
Lemon.
King
Yeah,
Lemon.
what are you guys listening to these days?
Oh, you know,
Well-
I gotta fix your Sugartone link. It got a skew here. Here we go.
So I guess I'll start. My main thing lately is if nobody's watched that Ken Burns country music documentary, holy shit, it's good.
Okay.
Oh, there goes my answer.
Dang.
You'll have time to think. We'll stall for you.
Yeah.
His jazz one is good. Is it kind of like that? Is it the same kind of?
I haven't seen the jazz one.
Is it slow pans on a picture while some guy talks
Oh
about
yeah,
it?
it's still Ken Burns, but like
That's my
the
shit.
way that the history is structured, like I never gave a shit about like the Carter family, and I never really gave like I didn't give half of these names I've heard before any kind of attention, but the way that they lay out all the history and who influenced what.
Carter
is
family
so-
was huge on like Mexican radio shit, like the old
Yeah.
frontier crap. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's like the way that they outline like that all the way up to like outlaw country is
Mhm.
fucking nuts. It's so cool. So between that and then like on the other side of the spectrum, I've been listening to a bunch of like Salt, and I just found like this Japanese synth punk group that I what are they called? I gotta look it up. Tako Tsubo
Okay.
is just rad. It's kind of like Blade Runner elevator music with French vocals, and it's nuts. But like
That sounds
either sides of the coin, total opposites. Nothing. In the
Are
middle.
they modern? That last one that you
Yeah. Yeah, that's
There's
a
kind of been that
2021
whole
album.
that was a big vibe in 2020. Cassie and I, my partner, started DJing, and a lot of it is just like kind of too slow trance music that's kind of vaporwave, but kind of Night Raider. And
Yeah.
like you're just like trying to like go through this on this journey, you know. That was a huge vibe.
Mhm.
I call it too slow trance, where it's like it's trance music, but it's
Too
just
slow trance.
it's just not the fast trance. It's a little slow.
I feel like that's the kind of music I make. Is like too slow trance.
I'll make you a mixtape. I think every episode I've said I'm gonna make you a mix of something. Did you listen to that Wolfpack mix? I made it for you.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. I have to listen to that again.
He doesn't like Wolfpack. I made
don't
him
like a Wolfpack.
I made him a
I'm not a
6 song
Wolfpack fan.
6 song mix. Carlin, what should we listen to? Anything you've been listening to?
One album that I've been circling back to a lot lately is the self-titled Blackwater Holy Light album.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have heard of them at all. It's
Uh-huh.
just like a super rad, chick band out on the West Coast. They fucking rock. So that one is one that just is like in my constant playlist all the time. So that'd be my recommendation.
Nice.
They're like are they stoner metal? You were telling me about them.
Yeah, not like on the metal end, but it's like really spooky stoner rock. So it's pretty.
Like sludgy
yeah.
kind of.
I love it.
Yeah.
Peter, anything to add? Any musical stuff or TV or anything? You've been just trying to settle into your new life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Life on the outside. Or
spending a lot of money relocating.
Yeah.
Well, so I moved to Nashville. Has nothing to do with the country music scene.
Okay.
But once I got here, I'm still trying to like figure out whether there is a genuine country music scene or if it's just like cover bands at bars attracting tourists. And...
Well, have I got a documentary for you?
No. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to be open, but I also I'm a little skeptical of it because I think, obviously there's like record labels that operate out of here and Keith Urban
It's
or whatever.
It's varied.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that live in Nashville and make music out of there for sure.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try to get involved?
No, not at all. It's just that's the elephant in the room, and I'm very cynical. So I want to see if is it for people? Is it a nice idea for people who don't live in Nashville, or is there actually like a country music scene here? Because what I'm imagining is it's mainly it's like an anointed getaway for people who are already in the country music scene.
Mm-hmm.
So like the famous people will congregate here. It's easy to do business that way. But if you go boots on the ground level, is anyone actively like making country music here? Because most of what I hear is like you go to the honky tonks, the bars on Broadway, and they're cover bands.
Right.
So I don't know.
And there's like the poppy stuff with twang, with a lap steel. That's like this is almost country, but it's just pop music with twang.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, Nashville is one of the great American music cities, though. Like it really is. There's a massive scene. Austin's another one. Like I went to Austin and I didn't believe it was like, oh, live music capital of the world or whatever they call it, or of the country. I didn't believe it. Then you go there and it really is. It's infested.
Austin's sick.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I went to Austin. I was in Austin for like 72 hours and I managed to get snuck into a Cannibal Corpse show. Like it was just happening.
We were
But
just
that's
there.
something-
We were just there in a random summer, like or October, nothing going on, and it was just like live music everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But something like Austin, that's something you could like objectively prove, like how many
Definitely.
live shows are going on.
Yeah.
No dispute. But then
Everyone's
you
in
have
a band. Everyone's a rapper. Yeah.
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 But something like country music, capital of the world. I mean, how do you prove that? Title?
I think people have been disputing it since like the 50s, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's been a thing, and like since like whatever Sun Records and shit, and people have been saying no, that's not country. We're also country here.
Yeah.
We're
I mean,
more-
Well, if I got a documentary for you guys,
We have let's go to the chat here. We have a little something from one of our top fans, Cassie Houghton,
Oh yeah, she is a
asking
top
us
fan.
about tell us about the album art, and actually tell us about the title too, because I think we speculated about that.
right?
So
So the album title was an utter afterthought, if we're going to be honest,
okay,
because we were talking about spicing up something a little more visual for as we were getting our live shows rolling, and we thought we landed on this like newspaper motif for the front of the bass drum because we just thought it was like funny.
mm-hmm.
yeah,
And
it looked good visually too. From afar, you could see it easily. You could tell what it was. Yeah.
right. So, and it just like, it was like tongue in cheek and dry and stuff. And then we took the photo, and we were kind of leaning into planning on this being just self-titled, whatever. Like, it's the name of the band. We've only really got one album planned. So like self-titled, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that popped up on there, and we were like, that's a pretty good album title.
Nice.
And it is just like it was just like a dry little joke that then sort of became this, like, it wrapped the whole thing in a nice like sarcastic little package.
Had you guys ever been asked to leave, or asked to turn down? Have you
Nope.
ever been asked? Really?
Nope,
No.
people. That's
Whoa.
the thing, man. Like, I know the album was disjointed, but the shows generally people are into it.
Nice.
That's
That
great.
happened. I've been asked to leave. I've been escorted out of a venue.
Why?
Yeah, at
Why?
Max
'Cause,
at Max Bar a couple
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
We were literally.
That was a thing.
It's a long story. A long story, but essentially, I asked to get paid, and they brought me in the basement like all mafia style, and I was like, "Are you guys gonna try to fight me or something, or pay me?" And they wanted to just lecture me. And then I went upstairs and I tried to complain about it to the bar, and then they made us leave. They kicked us
Yeah.
out.
What was their problem? What didn't they like?
They didn't like. I don't know what it was. I think
It was
they just didn't like that I was like, you should pay us for playing a show that was really well attended, and they didn't
Yeah.
pay us or the other Grand Rapids band. And I was like, that's bullshit. And they brought me downstairs to like lecture to me about how I should like ask for guarantees and shit, and which is like, okay, like I feel like I didn't have to. I was like, I know the show's gonna be good. You asked me to drive to Lansing to play, and you're not gonna pay me. It was fucking
Right.
fusion.
Maybe you should just pay your fucking bands.
It was fusion shows, and they have a history of doing garbage
Yeah.
like that. So I don't think anybody should work with them or anything. It's
it
fucking
was
terrible. But
kinda,
whatever.
it got
It
a little
was-
messy just because like
we were drunk. I was drunk too, so it was all bad.
the headliner was this kind of guy who's on I think Polyvinyl or Sub Pop or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was on a
but
bigger label, or no
he
idea.
he got paid, and he actually threw us some money.
He actually
on
did
the
pay us
ride.
money.
Yeah,
he heard
because I think he heard about the whole that we didn't get paid, and,
And
so he actually
I don't
felt
know.
bad.
I was kind of being a brat.
Oh,
I was kind of being a brat
was
about
why
it
because
too.
we said something. We found out we weren't getting paid like before we played.
Yeah,
And so
or
we,
like
we
right
said something
after
on
we
stage.
Paid. Yeah, I don't know. It
It was a whole thing, and
But,
it was.
yeah.
I mean, overall, it was a fun time.
But I've played in bands. So I played. Here's another one. I've been asked to turn down. I was in bands back in the day. I was in a band that like got decently big enough where we were getting offered like shows that were dumb at like private clubs that we were taking, and they would be like, "You guys got to turn down," and we're just like, "You guys booked us at your private club. Are the cops asking us to turn down? No, okay, then what?" Like, okay, and then you gotta like fulfill this weird $800 contract where you're like playing quiet, trying to just play music.
Which, if you knew that band, like it's like this does not work for the band. At
We
all.
didn't care then. I was in a band with Nathan Kalish, who's down in Nashville now, and we were kind of a grungy alt country band.
Cool.
Yeah.
We did.
Also, I gotta jump in real quick and
Yeah.
shout out Megan at McLeod Photography for the
That's
album
right.
artwork.
I was
Front
gonna.
and back
thank
and
you.
inside.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make this real
Absolutely.
big. This album artwork's cool. These
I like it.
mannequins.
Yeah. We had the idea for that, and then like kind of like Ian said, the kick drum had kind of became a focal point in the picture anyway. So we just kind of ran with it, and it turned out pretty
So
cool.
is that newspaper article fake or real?
It's fake. Definitely.
Okay. It's fake.
The whole thing is fake. There is actually here we go, more trivia
Exclusive.
on us.
Yeah, please.
So we laid out every single word on that newspaper article. Drumhead is intentional, and there's half of it is a fake article we cooked up about us being asked to leave, and the other half of it is like the first 3,000 words of the Unabomber manifesto, and then the index off to the left side is just a bunch of dumb bullshit that we thought was hilarious. But like,
That's awesome. I love that.
Between sets, if somebody walked up and was like reading it, it's like full of dumb shit jokes that somebody would like.
That's awesome.
No one ever did though.
No one ever asked about it. Not once.
No one ever came that close to us. They stayed
okay.
away.
My mom asked about it. That was pretty funny. It's like, yeah, Mom, it's the Unabomber manifesto. Doesn't everybody just do it?
Press something.
We did though. We got asked to pause one time because there was a medical emergency in the crowd.
Oh, that's right. We killed a guy.
Cardiac arrest. Yeah,
cardiac
Holy
arrest.
shit.
They die.
Did they
No,
die?
no.
Basically,
No.
Okay.
Then they came back to life.
No, the guy
came back.
It was a private party, and there was a collapse, and the guy was like
yeah.
full on potassium or something. But everybody's fine. Nobody died.
That counts.
Yeah. Okay, so he died. Nice.
Legally dead for a second.
What
Right.
did we get wrong?
Yeah, what did
about
we
this
get
podcast
wrong?
episode? What did we get like flat out wrong?
Well,
Or do you want to
okay.
clear the air on anything?
Yeah.
I do want to clear the air on one thing.
What would that be?
Where it was determined pretty swiftly that his master's voice was an attempted thing about racism, and that I'm a ham-fisted white guy who tried to talk about racism, and that was just like
That was one of the options.
that was just
There was I presented two options. That was one.
no, but both options had to do with like either these guys are touching race in an ironic way and they're hilarious, or these guys don't know what they're doing and they're racist idiots. I know I'm paraphrasing, but like
That's okay.
when I wrote that, it had nothing to do with race. So when it got read that way, I was
okay.
like, oh fuck! Now we're gonna look like the racist white guys.
Oh.
Which is not the intent, but like you learn something new every day, and it's all about unlearning racism. It's 2021, but
one of the it was either that you guys were kind of racist, or that you guys are possibly genius was the other option. Right?
Well,
that's that one.
Like that you guys,
that's the thing is like we're definitely not geniuses because I did not think of that.
Huh?
So-
I guess
But
we're
also
racist then.
definitely not racist.
What were you
Option 3.
What were you going for?
Option 3 is
What's that
it was
song
about it's about escaping. Do you know the old RCA Victor label with like the dog listening to the phonograph and his master's voice? It was just about he's never going to turn his head to his master's voice again, and it was about escaping an abusive relationship.
Oh.
Which is, I mean,
Interesting.
that was another reason I thought I was like, man, if I had sent these guys the fucking lyrics, this like, it probably would have avoided that whole discussion. But like, I did want to clear the air about that because
Perfect.
That's good.
I
That's
mean,
what we're here for.
it's fair. Like, you guys went into it critiquing with like little context in order to have like the fullest opinion.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted to be like, oh fuck, I don't want people to think we're dumb racist assholes.
That's the thing is though, your record's being reviewed by 2 brown people too, where
Right,
normally
and that
it's
was
a
the-
white guy reviewing it.
That was the other thing. I was like, fuck, and I can't just go in and be a white guy saying I'm not racist, I'm not racist, I'm not racist, because then
you can say you're not racist. That's fine.
But then you just, I mean, like
That's totally, that makes sense.
if you lean too far into it, being a white guy, you're just gonna sound like a bigger asshole. So
Well, I think that's it's genius. I think that you approach genius. If it's about something entirely, then option 1.
Yeah.
I'm also like we're gonna make like I was a little drunk. I did say that when we got. I think I was a little tired by the time I got to your album too. But I make some wild assumptions on here. But I think we're right like 80% of the
80% of the time I would say, yeah, we're right.
well, you guys did hit a couple of like secretly dead on things about like I don't think this band is a band anymore. It sounds like 3 guys just going for like trying to find a sound. Some of that stuff is like, yeah, that was exactly what we were doing.
Nice.
Mhm.
Chat,
feel
if you have any
better now,
questions
Ian?
for
Yeah,
Sugartone
chat got any
Noise
more
Company.
questions? Thanks for that. Thanks for the question about the art, Cassie.
Yeah.
our top fan.
Yeah, we just got top fan badges enabled, so we're
Yeah.
gonna fight over that.
Nice.
We also started. We did some video Steam. We started our own currency too. We have Casio bucks now that
Nice.
we're handing out. You guys,
Can I have some?
That's
yeah, we'll
awesome.
give you guys
Yeah.
each one. You guys each get one.
Sweet.
We're probably gonna need to do a different currency because I don't want Dan to have his own currency, and then
Of
it
course.
starts. Then there's a market where we're competing. We could do that though too.
Right, and then there's
Dan
got to be like
bucks.
this exchange, and that's just
Dan
a lot.
dollars.
Yeah,
Dan dollars, yeah.
Dan dollars.
Fisher frequent Fisher
Yeah.
Fisher Price.
yeah, Fisher
Ooh.
Price.
Oh, the Fisher Price.
What's the
What's
Fisher
the-
price? Yep,
Tell me the Fisher Price on this. Yeah.
that's pretty good. You get one Fisher price for that one.
All right. All right.
A Fisher pence.
Maybe now you can pay that British guy so we can have a Bandcamp name.
Yeah. How much do you think that's going to cost?
I don't know. It looked pretty recent. I haven't reached out yet, but it looked pretty recent, and they were cool. So if you look up kinglemon.bandcamp.com right now, you're gonna find some like underground British punk band that's pretty cool that I don't remember the name of, and I'm hoping something under $50, which whatever that is in pounds.
Quids.
Quids.
Wait,
Right.
Rupees.
Of course.
Quids.
It's 50 quid.
Mm-hmm.
Quid.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Peter, Carlin, do you guys have anything you want to add, or any sort of last words? We're kind of wrapping up
Yeah.
this. I think this was fun.
My last words, I guess. Yeah, I would like to thank you guys for doing this for the local scene.
Yeah,
Um,
you're welcome.
I
It's
listened to
fun.
the first episode, and that's one thing that resonated with me was like, you guys said that you had trouble getting your album like honestly reviewed. So we kind of ran into the same thing, just trying to do that. So I think it's cool what you guys are doing, and keep it up.
That's
Thanks,
awesome. This
man.
is fun. We
Appreciate it.
want to have you all back for some time. Once things open up, I'm gonna do like live shows. We'll get one of the little theaters and do like a taping with audience and drinking. It sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah. I'm down, man.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well, I think Peter, you got anything you want to add? Nah.
I would encourage you. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, but take a listen to the King Lemon and also that the live album.
Yeah, when is that
doing.
coming out?
Absolutely.
We have the files, and I've just kind of been too lazy this week to throw it up on Spotify. So it'll probably a week or so from now, because I'll
Awesome.
probably just, when we get off the air, I'll go throw it up.
Because I think it'll show that the unevenness that you guys are talking about, totally legitimate, kind of growing pains. But I think it'll show the awareness of that and some gains in that area. So
That's
I think
awesome.
you'd
Can't
like
wait.
it.
That's great.
Even
man.
if you don't like it, it'll prove that point.
Well, that's right up not only me and Dan's alley, but this podcast alley is like that's
Sure.
that's the shit.
Yeah. And essentially the magic formula was we came out of it and we were like, nobody likes the blues anymore. We'll get rid of that. And then, I think we were saying like, we went from like 1968 to 1978 and,
Right.
and that seemed
78
to
is a
do the
sick year.
trick. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But also, and thank you guys for having us back.
You're welcome. Thank you
Yeah,
for trusting us
Yeah,
to
thanks.
have it. And
Yeah,
radio.
really appreciate it.
We'll do a recap and say hello sometime again or do
Yeah,
a
that'll be
recap
cool.
or something.
Sounds fun.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
this I think brings us to the part of the show where we kick you guys off our show.
Yeah, it'll be a little difficult because I have to do multiple people, so maybe we'll
do
go
one
one
at
at
a
a
time.
time here. So who wants to go first?
Who wants to be the first
With
to kick
final
off?
words.
All right, Ian, you're first.
Ian's first, I guess.
Okay. Listen, what I'm trying to
I'm so glad.
Already,
I'm
I
glad
was
you
not
did that
feeling it.
fast. I'm glad that
Yeah.
happened really, really fast.
All right, who's next?
Who's next?
Can we all do like a digital hug?
yeah,
like
let's do
this?
it without him.
Yeah,
you
without
guys,
him.
you guys are my favorite bandmates.
This is a real King Lemon right here.
Okay, Carlin, you're up next, buddy. What do you got to say?
Drink beer. Everybody have it.
That's brutal.
Yeah. All right,
Peter.
Peter.
All right, now let's talk some real crap about the other guys.
Let's do it. Dan,
All right.
wait
The
a
real
second.
Yeah.
What do you
Let's
got?
beef. Let's go.
Yeah, let's hear. What do you really have to
Oh,
say?
you want
now?
us to say something?
You want to
No,
say
you
it?
gotta-
Okay.
Oh no, I'm good.
That is like my favorite part of the show now. That is
the best
so
part for sure. It's so
Stupid.
It's so stupid.
Oh, that was great, man.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to yet another episode recap live stream with
That was super
Bandscamps.
fun.
If you have any music that you are putting out or put out in 2020, please submit it to us at bandscamps@gmail.com. We would love to review it and talk about it. Follow us on Instagram at bandscamps_. We're also on Facebook. What else are we on? We have a Discord server.
Yeah, we got a Discord server. I'll put it up. Maybe I'll put it in the chat of this if you want to join. It's going to be a free server. It might be behind a paywall someday. This was really fun. They were
This
really good
was fun.
sports about it. I feel
Yes,
like
thank you,
everybody
Vanessa,
was.
for
Vanessa
getting
was a good sport too. And like I said, we're aware that this is like a sensitive subject, and we are trying to be sensitive about it.
Yes. And I don't think there's really been a record that we like actually disliked so far yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's going to come up though. I think
It will come up.
Yep.
So stay tuned. We have a new episode dropping every Tuesday.
What's going on on this Tuesday? What are you putting out?
Tuesday, this one is a really fun one. This is the
singles and
singles
short
one.
ones. Hot
Yeah.
singles in your area.
hot singles in your. Let me pull up real quick here the spreadsheets. Okay, so this Tuesday we have Skitchin and Friends. Their cover of "Woke Up Older" by The Wonder Years.
Oh yeah, these are singles and short records.
And we have the songs from Pumpkin Boy, Bilge, and Anythings. And then we have Derek Lee Feltner's "This Is Not a Comedy" album. Yeah, so we have. This is another doozy.
And we took this week off of taping our podcast
We did.
episodes. We were doing viewers. We were doing 1 month in advance, and we kind of wanted to bring things closer. So we took 1 week off when May had her surgery. She's doing great, by the way. She's doing fantastic.
Yay.
Yeah, she's almost 100% better. And then we took another week off this week to get more caught up. So now we're only 2 weeks behind.
That's right.
Yep. And so we'll get all caught up, and this is going to be another one, and we'll hopefully have it's Ty from Skitchin. Hopefully we can have him on the show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because he did some music for, I think, some of the first stuff he's done music on. I think he's done some backup vocals for some stuff too.
Yeah, I think he's on like some maybe like Bong Mountain backup.
So we talk,
yelling or
we
something.
talk at great length about several releases coming up.
Cool. I think that's all we have for today.
Yep. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you for scamping with us.
Yeah, thank you so much to all my fan scamps and all of our friends. Thank you to Sugartone Noise Co. and Kissin' Kate. We'll see you next
Awesome.
week.
See you guys.